Okay, guys, we keep on going. We're still working out this paper, May, June 2025, and obviously it is biology. So now we want to do question 20, and we'll see where we can stop, right? Now, this question here, question 20 has to do with, osmosis. So it reads, the diagram shows apparatus set up to investigate the effect of changing the initial concentration of glucose in the surrounding solution on the movement of molecules through a selectively permeable membrane, also known as whisking tube, in 15 minutes. So you can see the whisking tube being inside this test tube. Okay, so this container actually looks like a test tube, has got a solution, right? So it reads here, I'll just take my pen, surrounding solution, and then here whisking tubing, and inside the whisking tubing you've got 10% of glucose solution. 10% of glucose solution. Surrounding this whisking tubing, don't forget that the whisking tubing has got a solution of glucose in 10%. Okay, surrounding the solution, they've got different concentrations from 1% to 10% glucose solution, right? Surrounding this whisking tubing, right? Dialysis tubing, that's another name. So let's look at the question. Which statements are correct as the initial concentration of glucose solution in the surrounding solution increases? So we've got the first statement. Net diffusion of water molecules increase. So inside the whisking tubing, it is 10% of glucose solution. So what we want to know, what will happen as the different concentrations increase, because they're actually increasing from 1% to 10%. So as they increase from 1% to 10%, the gradient will decrease. Okay, the gradient will decrease. So that's why statement 1 is incorrect. Net diffusion of water will decrease here. All right, because by increasing it from 1 to 10%, by the time it reaches 10%, there will be no diffusion, because the concentration of glucose in the whisking tube will be equal to the concentration of glucose in the surrounding solution. Now, number 2, glucose molecules reach an equilibrium quicker. Yes, it is true. If here is 10% and here is 1%, this is the greatest, in this case, concentration gradient. So it takes longer for equilibrium to be established. All right. So, but as you increase the concentration of the surrounding solution, it approaches the concentration of the solution inside the whisking tubing, causing equilibrium to be reached in a shorter amount of time. So this statement is correct. Glucose molecules reach an equilibrium quicker. Number 3, there is less change in the volume of the surrounding solution. As you increase the volume of the surrounding solution, will have less change, because as we increase, the gradient is decreasing, all right, and that means that by the time it reaches 10% and inside is also 10%, there will be no exchange of substances because equilibrium will be established. So there is less change in the volume of the surrounding solution, right? So that means that as you increase the concentration of the surrounding solution, the amount of solution that gets out of the Viskin tubing, or the volume of the solution will decrease. So that means less change, okay, because that means less gradient, which means less volume, okay, will come out of the Viskin tubing. Now the last one here is net diffusion of glucose increases. No. The net diffusion, I've explained earlier, I guess. It will decrease as you see, between 1% and 10% difference here. The gradient is greater here. By the time it is 8% here surrounding and 10% inside, it is a smaller gradient here, right? So smaller gradient means that the net diffusion of glucose molecules will actually decrease. So we've got no, yes. Okay, so 2 and 3 are correct. So 2 and 3 are correct. So the answer is D. Right. The answer is D. Now let's go on. So 21 reads, the epithelium that lines the stomach is damaged by acid and is renewed every 2 days. Why is mitosis required to repair damage? We've got 4 alternative or 4 different options here. All right, so the first option here is A. Mitosis repairs damaged cells. No, mitosis does not repair damaged cells. Okay, it does not repair damaged cells. It replaces damaged cells. It cannot repair. It can replace. Mitosis is a process whereby a cell gives rise to 2 daughter cells, right? So it can only replace. Now, B. Mitosis produces new genetically similar cells. No, similar is not true. It should be identical cells. So similar and identical are not the same. It must be identical. Mitosis produces identical cells. Identical. All right. Exactly the same as the mother or the parent cell. Right, so the daughter cells are going to be exactly the same in terms of genetic makeup as the parent cell. That's why B is not true. So it is not correct. C. Mitosis provides genetically identical replacement cells. This is the correct answer. It's about replacement of cells. Mitosis doubles the original cell number. This is utter nonsense, okay? Sheer nonsense. So the answer is C. Okay, so next video we're going to proceed. We have done 20 and 21 today. In this video we'll stop here. Thank you for watching.